My name is Fariba Karimi. I am a group leader at Complexity Science Hub Vienna. My research is about understanding how inequalities are manifested in social networks and what are the consequences in society and especially in algorithmic societies. The way we interact with others and shape different social groups can hugely impact who receive novel ideas and information, who receives jobs offers, who receive better healthcare and education. Therefore, we like to understand how structure can affect which people and which group of people becoming the marginal of the society. And now, in addition, with algorithms that are based on social systems and networks, such as rank-based algorithms or people recommender algorithms, can exacerbate those biases and inequalities that exist in society. Therefore, through the modeling exercises, we want to understand the causal effect of structure on the biases that can arise in algorithms. Immigrants might not have the same resources and the same support network in terms of understanding how education works, how to access healthcare, and so on. So the lack of access and the support network for those disadvantaged and minority communities can trigger more structural inequalities for those groups. So lower access to education, for example, can result in people not getting admitted to universities and therefore not having high status jobs and positions in society in which they would be in better position influencing the society. In one of our research, what we found out is that we as social groups, we have the tendency of interacting with people that are similar to us. This is something called homophily. So in our research, we show that if we have different groups of people that have a homophilic tendency and they like to interact with similar others, what can happen is that ranking algorithms can easily reduce the visibility of those minority groups just because of the way they have formed connections with others. So more invisibility in the ranking means less visibility in the society, and this is something called as invisibility syndrome in social sciences, which refers to a situation in which a minority group might feel ignored and overlooked by the wider public, and that can have many consequences. For example, minorities might leave that community, might drop out from that community. This is something we see also in academia, higher dropout among minority groups. Or they can even, in the extreme cases, become violent towards the majority group because they don't conform to the same norm of the society and majority. So it is of high societal importance to understand what mechanisms can generate and drive structural inequality and structural marginalization in society and algorithms. The research shows that increasing diversity, especially in innovative environments such as academia, is hugely important for the advancement of science as a whole. Therefore, now we see this shift in which academic system and institutions are approaching us and asking us how they can increase the diversity and inclusivity. And that includes also including more minority groups into the academic system that bring more innovative ideas and methods in science. Therefore, I strongly believe that we can have not only abstract contribution in science as a whole, but we can also make impactful change in making better society for the next generation. The campaign is about complexity science meets digital humanism, because what we have discovered in recent years that there is a gap between what scientists do in complexity science and network science and what the values and the ideas in human-centered AI systems and human-centric values in society. And we believe that these two communities need to interact more and create a dialogue between them and potential collaboration, because I believe that complexity science can contribute significantly to digital humanism, and on the other hand, understanding and taking into consideration human-centered values can help us design and model better societies as complexity scientists. So we have the recent example of COVID-19 pandemic, in which we should not wait for the data to unfold for 1 year to run a machine learning algorithm on the data, real data, to let us know what not to do tomorrow and what actions to take the next day. So actually complex models were used to generate different hypothetical scenarios and different realistic scenarios for the society for the next 2 months, 2 years, and therefore that guided us on what kind of interventions are important to put in place to avoid the spread of epidemic. And in that sense, I think we can do the same for other major issues in society. For example, what determines when society becomes polarized or democracies become in danger, or how we can build more resilient societies. Another aspect is that a lot of classic machine learning methods are being used on available existing data sets. And we know that data sets can be biased or not even representative of certain population. Therefore, what complexity science and computational modeling can do for us is that they can generate those hypothetical scenarios. They can generate data sets on those scenarios of society that we don't have actual data for. Therefore, we can run the machine learning methods on more rich and different scenarios of society and make sure that those machine learning methods are robust and non-biased towards many different hypothetical societal scenarios that might happen in the near future. Digital humanism is not just about AI, it's generally about how to design technology to address societal concerns and societal need. Therefore, we are talking about something much beyond only artificial intelligence. What is lacking at the moment in the discussion of artificial intelligence is this lack of general intelligence for these machines that can have different abilities and not only being good in one task, but also have other human-type properties, such as being empathetic towards others, feel other people's pain, because these other factors are important in our decision-making process. And if we do not take that into consideration and give the decision only to machine, we might be in the risk of creating societies which become inhuman. And this is not what we want to have. I would like this initiative to create more awareness towards the importance of this topic and towards the importance of taking into consideration human-centered values in complexity science. We want to enhance the dialogue and raise awareness on how complexity science can contribute in design of better technologies that enhance the societal values and concerns.